Hi guys, welcome to More Than Just Headlines. I am your host, Kate, and today with me I have my friend Barrister Rosemary Ikang.
Hello.
So today we're going to be talking about female friendships, three-way friendships, as well as friendship theft. I don't know if everyone has, seen this, but on social media we had like this whole situation with Hilda Bassi, Bohe, and her other friend, who was like kind of like the third wheel in the friendship. There was this whole thing about somebody stealing somebody's friend. For example, the boy girl is a married person, while Hilda and the other girl
They're
are
still
single
single.
people. So how the Bo was rubbed off the wrong way by, this other girl taking, and especially with the fact that, Hilda now became popular, Guinness World Record breaker, and this other friend was seen with her everywhere. And she had to come out to say something about it. Things like that, where you have a friend and all of a sudden the other person, comes and steals your friend from you. So okay, what's your own take on, three-way friendships?
As someone who was in a three-way friendship all through the university, I always say that it's best for it to be two-way because, three is a crowd kind of thing because one person will certainly feel bad about the friendship at some point. The three people cannot be operating on the same energy at the same time. It's not possible. Two people are going to get closer at some point. At another point, the other two people are going to get closer. And at another point, the three of them are actually going to get along fine. But one thing for sure that is certain is that one person is always going to feel hurt.
Yeah.
So
Because the energy will never ever be the same.
sometimes you find situations where you can tell this, let me say A, B, C, they're in a friendship. B and C, B will tell C something and won't tell A. Then somehow A gets to find out from C and goes to confront B. I'm like, this thing was going on, he didn't tell me. Or especially female friendships, two people may be gossiping the other person.
Okay.
But I think the most painful part and the one that I can relate to the Hilda story is the fact that this girl was left out. The one that got married, the married one, was left out. And she was the one that actually brought Hilda and the other girl together. It's actually very painful seeing that Hilda became popular and she's going places and somebody that she introduced to Hilda is now the one being seen with Hilda everywhere. Of course, I don't blame her for withdrawing. Me, I'll do the same. If I'm investing in friendship and you're not investing as well, you're not returning the energy.
Yeah.
I mean, my default approach is just to withdraw. So I don't blame the girl. I didn't see anything wrong in what she did.
I have also at some point been in like a three-way friendship before. I think in secondary school. That was a three-way friendship. Now having a three-way friendship outside secondary school was different, So now you can really see the dynamics
You know the secondary school were restricted to boarding school.
Yeah.
We didn't have phones.
I feel like the boarding schools own should have been more, I don't know,
dramatic.
Because yes, it should have been more dramatic because we're in the same space. So if you're not friends, because at some point we all have our different friends. So do you understand?
Yes,
so everyone had
point,
their friends and their cliques
towards other people.
Yes, so that should have even been dramatic. I've actually never felt bad because somebody was close to the other person more than myself.
Really?
Yes, I've actually not felt. But instead, if, for example, I was in a three-way friendship, for example, me, you, and someone else, now as adults, not as teenagers, and maybe I noticed that, you go out with the person, you tell the person more stuff. In my head, I'll just be like, maybe it's because of the, close proximity. Maybe you guys, say, for example, when you're not living in Abuja, so I'd be like, okay, you're close because you play the same location and it's fine. Or maybe that's who you feel comfortable telling things to or telling certain things. For example, in our friendship, to be very honest, there are things I can say to you. That I cannot say to somebody else. And there are things that I would say to somebody else and I'll be like, Rosemary is not the person to have this kind of gist with. She will not get it.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible, but I want to talk about you not feeling anything or not feeling anything not seeing anything wrong with being like in a three-way friendship and the other two people are getting close, you have the tendency to have other friends.
Okay. Yeah, I think that, yeah.
Someone who
true.
doesn't me, I don't warm up to people. I don't easily make friends.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are like my only friend,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I have like 3 friends or 2 friends, or I have just you, or maybe I'm in the three-way friendship and you're like, that three-way friendship is everything to me.
Okay.
And the 2 people in the friendship now get close and leave me alone. It's not going to be funny. I have to
It will
start
be
looking for
funny.
another friend.
Exactly.
And forming friendships is hard.
Especially as adults now.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Except even if you're working in the same place, it's not easy to warm up to people, to get close to people, because in a way you're making yourself vulnerable to
True.
people. Friendships is kind of like exposing yourself, because you give them the opportunity to harm you, to hurt you, although there are going to be rewards. But I think it's not so easy for everybody to make friends. How do you keep friendships from primary school, secondary school?
If you were my friend in primary school, you reach out to me today, of course I'll be there.
Some people don't know how to keep in touch. It's not like they don't want to be your friend, but they don't just know how to keep those connections going, how to keep the friendship going.
It's not a big deal to me.
Yes, it's not a big deal.
We're friends today. That's what friendship is all about. When you need me, I'm here. When I need you, you're there. Not necessarily, we don't have to be like,
talk every
yes,
day.
we don't have to. You could also, I'm also someone that, like, when I'm going through a hard time, I actually most times don't communicate. Regardless of anything, we women, most especially, we need, female friendship. I went to an all-girls school. I understand sisterhood. I understand the importance of friendship. Growing up, my mom had a lot of friends. Probably that's also another reason why I have friends, that it looks like I'm good at keeping my friends.
I think it's just your personality, because my mom has a lot of friends.
My mom's friends are still like great, like amazing towards us, are still like loving, caring, and concerned. Of course, my mom wasn't a perfect person, but I'm sure that in every friendship she had, she maybe had a little positivity somewhere there.
Of course.
Because it's been a while since my mom passed, and
But those friendships are still.
Yeah, actually, I have one of my mom's friend who every time she sees me, the last time she saw me was at a funeral. She just heard someone say, "Oh, so person's daughter," and she turned around and walked back. I was like, "Oh, where's she? Oh, how are you? Hope you're good." I'm like, "Yeah, auntie, I'm fine." So basically, because I've seen my mom have great friendships, and I think personally too, I like friends. I've been that kid that always had friends. In as much as people wanted to be my friend, I also wanted to be people's friends, and I'd reach out, I'd keep in touch. Okay.
There's a scripture that says a person that wants friends should make himself friendly.
Okay.
Especially in the Bible. So
Okay.
if you want to have friends, you have to be a friendly person. So if you feel you don't have enough friends, or nobody wants to be your friend, it means you're not friendly. But there are some people that are actually very comfortable having few friends. Me, I'm that kind of person. I just have very few friends. I have a close circle of friends, and I'm okay with that.
I don't think I make new friends as easily as I reconnect with old friends. I remember when I went to uni, and there were girls in my class that were in the same secondary school with me. We're never friends in secondary school, but we connected easily because we had,
History.
yes, common history somewhere. One thing I wanted us to talk about, though, you said something earlier, and I wanted us to touch on that. What people bring to the table
During
as
friendships.
friends, or during friendship.
For you to be expecting someone to always keep in touch, to always call you, you have to be calling the person. You have to, if you expect them to show up for you during your ceremony, during your event, or during your birthday, that means you're showing up for them. And they have a right, I feel they have a right to get offended when you don't show up for them when they need you, because you're not returning the energy.
But that's literally meaning that you're not as invested in the friendship as the other person.
Yes, I'm talking about 2 personalities now.
Okay.
2 separate individuals and how they view friendships.
Okay. This one is like me now talking to you. Does that stem from maybe trauma from past experiences with friendships where maybe you were invested, and because what's making you less?
Okay.
You know?
Okay, first of all, I'm somebody that I'll hardly come to you and say and start being friends with you. My friends actually made it, they were intentional about being friends with me. Almost all my friends, that's how we became friends. I hardly see somebody and I'm like, I like this person and I want this person to become my friend. Unless the feeling is mutual and we just start talking and we become friends.
People have different expectations in friendships. For somebody like me, for example, and I used to say this to my friends or anyone, like when I hear people complaining, oh, my friend did not do this, my friend did not do that. I'm like, whatever your friend has and brings to the table, accept them for what they have or what they have to give that relationship. So I'll take what you bring to the table, and that would not stop me from doing, the things I want to do for you. Do you understand? So, for example, you hear people complain, oh, this is my friend, I give her a lot of stuff, I gift her a lot, she doesn't gift me. But you're forgetting that your friend that doesn't gift you is literally the only one that comes to your house. Is the only one calling you. Is the only one that,
Maybe she always has a listening
yes, sometimes, acts of service. Say, for example, you have an event happening in your house, that's the one friend that will show up. So take that friend for what they have, because when you have certain expectations of people, we're all different, we can't give the same thing.
So you're saying we shouldn't have
you
shouldn't have so much expectations from friendship.
Yes, exactly. And that is what, okay, you see, you said something earlier, you said I'm friendly. That's probably why it looks like I'm friendly. Why? Because I can accommodate. It's not like accommodating excesses. It's almost like, do you understand? I know, like all my friends, I know what all my friends bring to the table. Do you get? I don't expect the same thing from all of them.
Okay.
Do you get?
Actually, generally speaking, if you want to reduce the way others are going to hurt you in this life, you have to reduce your expectations from people, because the higher expectations you have of human beings, the more heartbreaks,
of course,
and emotional stress you're going to put yourself through.
Serious stress. I have a friend that when my dad passed was literally calling me every day. Like was calling me every day and we're having a conversation. It was after everything passed and I'm like, what? That was the biggest thing I must have got. Like talking to me every day. So how are you doing? What are you doing? What are you guys doing? Take it easy, that kind of thing. That is even like a serious gift in itself, because that helps you mentally.
True.
So now you have somebody to vent to. Even there are certain people that have lost a loved one and would not do that.
Will not do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, do you ever cut your friends off, or at what point do you cut someone off?
Cutting people off is actually
extreme,
a very toxic trait.
Okay.
But then I also know that there are some friendships that you need to cut off for your own sanity. Because there are people that, do you know that there are people that generally, like, maybe something happened. In your eyes, it's a straight line.
But in their eyes,
these people
have
concocted all sorts of zigzags and circles.
Maybe they are overthinkers.
Oh my God. And maybe the day you decide to sit down and have this conversation, the things that you're hearing, you're wondering,
how
is it me?
It's true.
When did this happen?
Where did that come from? Was it that serious?
I wasn't even thinking about it in this way. Why would I do such a thing? Like, how could I? My friend said something yesterday. We had a conversation. She said that most times people that do this kind of things, they're doing it because they want your attention. Because if they're not saying these things, how do they get your attention?
So they are what cutting off?
If people are supposed to drop off, they should drop off naturally, not you cutting people off. Because that also in itself is trauma, Well, cutting somebody off can be traumatic to the other person.
Well, I cut someone off this year. I'm not someone that actually... The only time I cut someone off was I cut the person off mentally. But... me and the person would think we are cool, but mentally I've cut the person off. But there's somebody I cut off both mentally and should I say physically. Well, wait, let me just give you like a background so that you understand where I'm coming from.
Okay.
So this friend, we met in the UK. during my master's. She was intentional about
Please,
the
let's
friendship.
note. I did not come and become your friend. That one is for all your
That's
after
secondary
friends.
school now.
That one is for all your after friends. I did not come.
That's secondary school. So, we liked ourselves. We became friends.
Okay.
She was actually a good friend.
All
Like
right.
in the UK,
So what changed?
we used to hang out. We finished, we came back to Nigeria. I got a job before I came back. I think she came back before me.
Okay.
So, and she lived with me for like 6 months. And during that period, I introduced her to my boss. In fact, we're having a program, and like, how all this program that my company, we had a stand, and I needed someone to help me out at the stand. So I reached out to her, please, can you feel for me, So it was during that period I introduced her to my boss. And from that introduction, she was able to get her job. And she moved to Lagos.
Okay.
Fast forward 1 year and some months later, I got a job in Lagos. Even before I got the job in Lagos, I reached out to her. I was like, this company is interviewing me. I don't have accommodation in Lagos. If I come, can I stay with you? She was like, yeah, fine. No problem, come. Because I thought we were cool, right? So it wasn't going to be a problem. Then I went to Lagos, and I stayed with her for like 3 months, January to March. And she comes and says, her mom is coming, and I need to leave the house. I don't know anybody in Lagos. Wow. I've not been in Lagos since like I was a child. Okay. So even for me to even leave Abuja and go to Lagos, it was like leaving my comfort zone and going. I don't like Lagos for any reason. And the only reason I decided to take that leap of faith was because she gave me some comfort that I can stay with her. Do you get? I was like, okay, at least I know someone. Do you get? Yeah. Then she comes and says, you have to leave the house. My mom is coming. This house.
Just like that.
This house is a 1-bedroom.
Okay.
It's not like it's 1 room. It's 2 rooms. It has a parlor and it has a bedroom. She has been saying her mom is coming. I was thinking maybe we can manage. We are 3. I don't mind sleeping in the parlor. Then her mom sleeps in the bedroom. Do you get? So that's what I was thinking. So I was really, really shocked. And it really, really destabilized me. Like I couldn't even focus on work. Because I started thinking, where am I going to go to?
Wow.
Right
and it's
now.
Crazy in Lagos.
Yes, where am I going to go to? And all that. So I started making calls. I reached out to somebody in my office. I told her, she was like, I can come and stay in her place. But I didn't want to, because I was just resuming work in the company. I didn't want the situation to go and be living with another colleague.
Yeah.
I don't know the person so much. So it wasn't really convenient for me, but it was like the last option I had. So while I was into all of this, she started sending messages like, we are living together. You won't tell me. We won't have a conversation. But when I'm in the office, you send a WhatsApp message like my mom is coming Saturday. This was like Wednesday. My mom is coming Saturday. Like, how far? Do you get? More like you have to leave before Saturday. And I'm like, I'm going to leave your house before Saturday. She now picked offense that I said your house.
But it was her house.
But it was her house. We're not supposed to say
were you guys
our house.
splitting the bills?
We're
or
not
splitting.
She had already paid rent, but I used to pay for food. Like we market runs, I pay. Sometimes she pays. I make the food. Do you get? It was never our house. It has always been her house. Sometimes I'm going to leave your house. So she now picked offense. Why am I saying your house? She started a lot of things on WhatsApp. That she was even trying to help me. She said she had called someone to pay for my hotel. I'm like, you called somebody to pay for hotel for me for 1 month, according to you, that you want me to stay out for 1 month. And you did not tell me. So it's like, I'm even trying to help you, and you're coming to come and say this. I'm like, I didn't say anything wrong. If I said anything wrong, I'm sorry. Do you get? I didn't want us to fight. She's like, she was just waiting for me to just sleep, so that she'll pick up something and fight about it.
Yeah.
She said she has called her friends and she's trying to see if I can stay in their place, that they have said no. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I made arrangements to move before this Saturday.
Okay.
So I was just hanging on, right? Next thing, she starts sending me messages. Said I'm subbing her on my WhatsApp status.
Were you actually subbing her?
You
Be
know
honest.
me. I don't put my personal stuff
Issues, yeah.
on WhatsApp, and I wasn't subbing her. She just read meaning into what I put there.
She was actually having a guilty conscience.
She started writing another episode that she started writing a lot of things on WhatsApp that let her tell me that she overheard me saying that, telling my mom that I gave her job, that I didn't give her any job, that that's how I was telling my friends that I gave her a job, that I didn't give her any job, that she was just saying a whole lot of things, that in fact she doesn't care about the friendship anymore.
Okay.
The friendship can end right now, and that when I leave the house, I should throw away the key. That so I bought a blender for the house. She said when I'm leaving I should go with my blender. Do you get?
Yeah.
So it was really messy, and I want a situation that when I pack my things and leave the house, I was going to drop her a very nasty message, but thank God I did not, because I was talking to like other people, like another friend. I was so mad. I was like, why are people giving me this advice? I want to tell this girl something
You want to tell her
that will
off.
pain her for the rest of her life. But I thank God I did not respond to any of her messages, because looking back now, I said, thank God I did not. So I did not respond to any of her messages. When I left the house, I sent a message. I told her, thank you for accommodating me, and I blocked her everywhere.
So that's the only person you've ever blocked in your life. The only friend, rather.
Yes.
That's the only friend you've ever cut off.
It's not the only one, but the other one is complicated. I don't want to talk about it. So
that one you have not cut the person off yet. No. You are intending to.
So I feel like some people are worth cutting up. Before we had this issue, I noticed a trend in her life. She used to cut off people.
Okay.
And even one time I used to joke about it. I'm like, so you're cutting off people like this, are you sure you're going to cut me off
one day?
One day. So do you get?
Yeah.
But I'm looking back now, I'm thankful, because after I left her house, okay, I traveled, I came to you, I was on leave for like a week. Then when I went back, I moved my stuff to my colleague's house. Okay. I never wanted to stay in my colleague's house. So when I was in EU, somebody referred me to another girl. Okay. I went to that girl's house. Like, in 1-2 months, I had moved houses 3 times.
Wow.
I went to the other girl's house, and she was just moving into her space. Everything was just... It was not a good time for somebody to move in with her.
Somebody, yeah.
So I had to pay for a temporary accommodation. It was like a girl's house. I was paying weekly.
Okay.
But that girl's house,
crazy
girl's house, like, Lagos now. Lagos.
Lagos is synonymous to craziness.
When I went to the house, somebody was telling me I'm into hookup.
What?
Yes, I'm into hookup. Oh. Like, if you have customer, you can refer me. Then every morning she wakes up to pray.
For hookup customers.
See you. You've not seen madness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, so that was when it actually dawned on me that this girl did me bad.
Yeah.
When I had to go stay there, and I had to stay there for like a month. And during that period, before I was able to find my own place and eventually move. But that period, it was crazy. I was going through a lot. Like, emotionally and everything, but I couldn't talk to. It brings me back to the point that you said, when you're going through stuff, you withdraw.
Yeah.
I can actually when I was going through that, I withdrew. Okay. I couldn't talk to anybody, but some things happened to me. I can't talk to anybody until I'm able to deal with it and come out of it.
Before you can talk
Before I can talk about it. So I'm now talking about it in the past tense.
Yeah.
With no emotional trauma attached. I'll even be laughing. I'm talking about it, but back then it wasn't funny at all.
Yeah, I get that. But another thing I've also learned in like this whole friendship thing is like always coming to a place of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Because like one thing I've learned over the years is that all the people that hurt me did things to me that like, hurt my feelings and stuff. I realized that if the more I held on to it, the more pain. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I would literally be living in the pain all over again. So like every time the person's name or something comes up about the person, it reminds you of like that bad memory. But when you come to a place where you've forgiven someone, like you just let go of all that pain
True.
from your heart. You know, people learn every day. So I try to forgive people so that, you know, I can free my heart. So like in your situation, I'd advise like you forgive the girl.
I've forgiven her. I mean, I'm a Christian and we preach forgiveness.
Yeah.
I've forgiven her. It's the reason I did not say angry words or, curse
Say
her.
things
or
that you would
say-
not be able to take
Yeah,
back.
say painful things to her.
Yeah.
It's the reason I look back and I'm like, thank God I didn't say those things to her. So
Okay.
I've forgiven her.
I think we've come to the end of this conversation. It was actually, it almost sounded, it was almost like a therapy session. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate, even though I know I've taken so much of your time today.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Gosh,
I hope you come on again before you leave town.
I hope so too.